Before we end our local news roundup, we bring this. The world-renowned Harlem Globetrotters will perform at 2 p.m. this Saturday at the Lee E. Williams Athletics and Assembly Center at Jackson State University. The Globetrotters, known as the Magicians of Basketball, have a storied history that dates back 84 years. One of the most famous Globetrotters is former NBA great Wilt Chamberlain. Since Chamberlain's era, several new generations of stars have emerged to continue the legacy of these thrilling hoop geniuses who have traveled the globe. We fast forward to a new standout team member who was in our studio today. His name is Blenda Rodriguez. Welcome to the News Now Update, Mr. Rodriguez.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, man. Hey, before we delve into the history of the magnificent Harlem Globetrotters, briefly tell us about your background. You're from Manhattan, New York, and tell us how you became a part of this incredible team.
Well, it all started out at the age of 13. I had an older brother, which I still do, and he played both sports. He played baseball and basketball. So I tried to compete with him, and he kind of motivated me to be doing what I'm doing today because he was a big critic. And once he introduced me to the game of basketball, I fell in love ever since then. And then after high school, I stopped playing basketball for 4 years. I had a problem with my high school coach. He hated short guys,
Oh, no.
He wanted to make sure his team was 6 feet and over and looked intimidating to the other teams. So he kind of shattered my dreams. I stopped playing for 4 years, and I was studying martial arts. And then next thing you know, I started falling in love again with basketball. And it was like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was always in the basketball court. And one day, I just started, working on some basketball tricks. And then the day after that, I walk into the store and I purchased the 6 decades of the world famous Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh,
and
wow.
once I saw every single move on that video, on that VHS, I just mastered every single move. And then next thing you know, I started getting creative and working on more ball handling tricks. And I started performing at the in NBA arenas, college arenas, doing halftime shows.
Is that where they scouted you? Is that where they scouted you with the Globetrotters and how they wanted you to become a part of them?
No, after that, I was doing a lot of street ball game in New York, pickup ball in New York, and next thing you know, I was in a couple of videos, DVDs with LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, Steve Nash, Shaquille O'Neal, and I won this competition. I was rated the best ball handler coming to the United States.
Yeah, that's right.
2007.
It was reported, that you were number one ball handler in 2000 at a freestyle event with competitors from California, Illinois, New York, and Virginia.
Yeah, that's right. They selected the top 8 ball handlers, and I was number 1. I beat all of them with my ball handling skills. And then next thing you know, I get a call from a scout saying, hey, we want you to try out. We want you to send in a video to their office, which is based out of Phoenix, Arizona. I did exactly just that. Next thing you know, I got invited to Houston, Texas, to the Toyota Center, to the practice gym. They selected 10 guys. Now, 10 guys, I was one of 5 guys to make it that year.
Wow, that's incredible. Hey, tell us what talent you bring to the organization.
Well, Curly Neal was the guy that used to slide on the floor and dribble and do a lot of dribbling moves. So then that's what I bring now. I'm the guy sliding on the floor, doing trick shots, doing dribbling moves, and coming up with a lot of creative ideas.
Yeah,
with the basketball. I'm always learning a new trick, always trying to, motivate myself to come up with a new move every single day.
Oh, that's great, man. Hey, now I'm going to move on. Some people may wonder about the diversity among the Harlem Globetrotters. The squad typically has been comprised of, as you know, African Americans.
That is correct.
We know of at least one Caucasian player. That's Bob Karstens, who created the Globetrotters pregame called the Magic Circle. The Karstens played from 1942 to 1943. Now, your surname is Rodriguez.
Yes.
Is your heritage part of the continuing diversity of the Harlem Globetrotters?
I would say so. My mother and my father, they were there from the Dominican Republic, and we have the first Latino to ever play with the Harlem Globetrotters by the name of Orlando Antigua.
Wow.
He's now the assistant coach at Kentucky. He played 7 years. We used to call him the Hurricane. Yeah, he's about 6'7". He played at Pittsburgh University, and he was the first Latino. Then the second Latino we have today, and he's still part of the organization. His name is Kevin Special K. Daly. He's from Panama City, Panama, and he came into the United States at the age of 12 or 13 years old.
Wow, that brings a lot of diversity to the team. And speaking of the team coming to Jackson is just one of many traveling squads, correct?
That is correct. We have 30 players on the roster, about 27 to 30 players, and what we do is we split them up. We have an East and a West Coast team, and that's how we make magic happen all over the States and all over the world.
How many teams exist?
There's 2. So right now, there's 3. There's a team in Wisconsin right now. They have a day off today. Then you have a team in Canada. Then you have another team right now in Belgium.
Wow. Hey, look, in retrospect, you mentioned that your coach was distant on like short guys.
Yeah.
Right? Your stats indicate that you are 5 feet 8 inches tall at
that is correct.
about 165 pounds. Now, that's not to say small players can't find success in round ball. Spud Webb, for example, at 5 feet 7 inches, spent his principal NBA years with the Atlanta Hawks, and he could dunk.
Yeah.
But on average, you're rather short and small frame for a professional basketball player.
That is correct. But I admire all the short guys like Nate Robinson. He also won the slam dunk contest. Muggsy Bogues, he was 5'2", 5'3", and he used to give a lot of guys a lot of problems because he played really good defense at a high level, and people hated to go up against him because he was like a mosquito that would never get off your skin,
So you can use your size. Your size definitely has
an advantage. And then Earl Boykins right now, too.
Oh,
He's still in the league.
Yes. Yeah, Earl Boykins. So your size definitely has an advantage. Now, let's talk briefly about the history of the Harlem Globetrotters. Athleticism, theater, and comedy have been the mainstay of this exhibition basketball team. The Globetrotters have been around since about the 1920s and played in more than 100 countries. What historical event stands out in your mind about the Globetrotters that made you want to be a part of this legendary team?
I would say, being a part of the Harlem Globetrotters, you don't only represent the team, you represent the country. And every year we do a military tour to give back to the troops and to give back to our soldiers because they do so much for our country. And 90% is what we do off the court, which is visit hospitals, visit schools, and the 10% is what you see on the basketball court.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Hey, WJSU wants to point out that the Globetrotters have honorary members, including Presidents Nixon and Ford, Ford's former Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, would you believe it, comedian Bob Hope, actress Whoopi Goldberg, former South African President Nelson Mandela, and, surprisingly, Pope John Paul II.
Yep,
that's wild.
People always ask us, what's the smallest crowd we played for, and it was the Pope. It was just one. It was just him. That's it.
Wow. Hey, moving on. We should note that the Globetrotters have competed successfully against top college championship teams and various NBA squads. How well do you think your team would match up against the current division leaders in the NBA or the recently crowned NCAA Final Four champions, UConn?
I would say we'll do pretty good. We have a lot of great talent on the team, and I think we have one of the best assembled talent on the Harlem Globetrotters. We got the best athletes in the world. We got guys that, can really jump and soar to the moon, and we have a lot of great shooters, too, on the team, which is something new and exciting we have to show people that we could shoot is the 4-point shot. It's 35 feet away from the basket.
That's ridiculous.
And the way we activate it and the way it works, we activate it every last 3 minutes of each quarter.
Wow, that's incredible, guys. Hey, tell us about your connection with NBA stars such as Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, and LeBron James. You've worked with them in some capacity, haven't you?
Yes, in a couple of DVDs.
Yeah, you said that in the DVDs.
And it's called One Love True Ballin' Volume 2 and One Love Pure Heat Volume 3. So what we did was we recorded separately from them because they're just showing all their high school highlights from high school. And, I'm kind of giving it a twist by doing some basketball tricks in the DVD. And it was, I met those guys too. And, they're pretty cool guys. And I don't have nothing bad to say about them. And they're really good basketball players.
That's awesome. Hey, right now you're 32 years old. How long do you plan to travel with this team, and what is your ambition beyond the Globetrotters?
I would say, I kind of want to be a Globetrotter forever.
I bet it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I never knew that a basketball would take me all over the world. I've been to 30 countries. The team itself been to 120. And, after I'm done with my Globetrotter career, I kind of, want to be a motivational speaker and give back to the community, give back to the kids, and, kind of tell them my life story and teach them basketball.
Yeah.
It's something. Coach.
Yeah, be a coach. Coach Rodriguez. Hey, finally, tell us about this weekend's event at Jackson State University and where you will travel next.
Well, this event April 16th at 2 p.m. on Saturday. We're going to have lots of fun. It's all about great family fun entertainment. You're going to see amazing slam dunks. You're going to see amazing trick shots from half court. You're going to see us sliding on the floor, dribbling. You're going to see Big Easy clown around. He takes over Meadowlark Lemon, what he used to do, which was being the showman, being the floor leader, snatching a purse from a lady out the crowd, picking a girl up and spinning the ball on her finger. We just like to have a lot of audience participation with our audience. We like to do the YMCA to get everybody involved. So, it's a lifelong memory when you come to a Harlem Globetrotter event.
Hey, everybody, see if you can come out today. That's tomorrow. Thank you so much, Blenda Rodriguez, for joining us today in our studio.
All right. Thanks for having me. All right.